I'm going to do another video for you today. I've sat with this one for a few days because I used one of my decks that sometimes gives me a 1-2 punch right in the heart, and so this one is, I don't know, it feels a little tender for me, so it's part of the process though when you are doing this and you're wanting to understand and grow through certain things. Sometimes your cards have to reach real deep and put you in the feels. So this may resonate with someone who's seeing 511, the number 5 or 11, either one. And so I named this one A Silent Quest of Unlearning. Sometimes the hardest thing is to unlearn how to do things, how to unlearn a thinking pattern, how to unlearn all kinds of stuff, habits. And sometimes you get tested on your strength in that area. So I like to study nice and deep into these things. So, and also because I wanted to capture some of what is in the Arcanum Vintage deck. In my studying way, I've gone through and I've pulled out things that were in the book and wrote them out, because that's how I learn, writing it and being able to reread it and different things like that. So the first thing for sacrifice. Now this can be considered, this deck, past life regression, just a past life karmic thing that we're dealing with. And it's just, it kind of brings out situations that you may feel like you experience in themes or different things like that. I have my labradorite here and it looks like I have a lion in the reflection, so maybe a lion may be of significant. Paper moved when I said that also. Okay, so sacrifice. If I shed all that I know, all that I believe myself to be, will it lead to freedom, or will I lose myself? Between the known and the unknown. It means contemplation, acceptance, potential. Its energy is of Neptune. It's the mirror card to the Hangman. So if you're getting the Hangman in your own deck, or if you've noticed that if you watch any kind of videos like this, anything with a Hangman, especially if the reading starts with a Hangman, you may want to just kind of listen to see if anything relevant comes out there. It's inspired by the Garden of Eden and the figure of Lilith, or an untamed feminine energy. What is possible and what is impossible? The snake is a symbol of wisdom. What is right? What is wrong? And what will the outcome be? We don't get to cheat, but we are allowed to make educated guesses. The result you want will likely not be the outcome in one direction, but in the other, a better result that you cannot comprehend. It's either going to work or it won't, but it's definitely one of the two. But either way you go, it doesn't matter. No matter what path you choose, you are allowed to choose. Will I stay the course, or will I change my direction? Will I do it consciously, or will I go daydreaming? And daydreaming has a lot to do with Neptune, sometimes the moon also. So here we have the Aether card, or Ether card. If illusions of, the illusion of twin mirrors. If you direct your sight toward one side, you might glimpse a reflection of yourself. And the question came out was, what should I do? Do I truly want to know? Contemplative paralysis. Can not look. So like someone's telling themselves, I can't look, I can't look, I can't look, and then compelled to look anyway. But it's specifically talking about your side. So if you're trying to like force your direction in one way, it's saying that your eyes will be drawn to your side. I don't know, for whatever reason it makes me think right side, but anyway. So it means mastery, manifestation, quintessence. What did I write? I don't know. It's been a few days. Like, try to read your own handwriting. Woof. All right. Anyway, alchemy. It is ruled by Mercury. It is mirror card to the magician. Aether means to incarnate, to burn, to shine. The merging of all elements into one. The space between worlds where memory becomes myth and wounds become portals. Okay, I got a little bit more for this one. So, ever changing, nothing stays the same. Not in the universe. Some situations may have put your own values and beliefs to question. Remain open to new experiences. But I think we need to have our values questioned. You know, sometimes we need to have a hard lesson emotionally, and sometimes that forces us to learn. So far, Neptune, Mercury, and now we're going to a Gemini energy. And this one is called Pathways. And standing at the crossroads on your journey, your mind is like a thunderstorm. Are you questioning your choices up till now? Is this the path I desire? Will it lead me to what it is I desire? Will it bring me fulfillment or disappointment? I should have never opened that book. I don't know why it refers to a book. You feel betrayed by the voice that led you here. The memory of past guidance comes back to you. Evaluation, free will. Mercury and Gemini. Memoirs. Memories from a lifelong past. Mirrors the death card, but of past life themes. And that's where I was talking about this deck has a tendency to talk about past lives, or in this life. I personally like to say that I've died many times. So how many moons ago, different lifetimes, like who I was 1,000 times already. With every death, there begins a new journey to regain consciousness of the lesson we once learned as we forge the memories of new life. It also has a very strong Six of Cups energy, as it often refers to the past, important memories. It's ruled by the Scorpio energy, which is the symbol that's up here. And it symbolizes transformation and metamorphosis. One's deepest, most intimate desires. We must go through a period of transformation in our lives so we can become who we are meant to be. Okay. So that's the first line. So everything added to master number 5. Master number in numerology 5. So maybe you're a life path 5, or you need to look up the meaning of 5 in that way, or it could be the 5th gate in human design, something. So this is the card that gets me. So this is the Chaos card, but this is Pandora's box. And so I lost my Pandora, and she was probably one of the worst things to lose, and as quickly as I did. I was not prepared for that, so that was traumatic. So I get to every time I get this card, it's oof. So, Chaos card. Pandora's box has been flung wide open, unleashing a torrent of a torrent of difficult memories. True. Wishing to be freed from a cathartic, tumultuous, haunting realm. Trying to discern a single meaning and point to the area where one failed, so the lesson can be understood, extracting wisdom from the pain. Great value to every negative emotion encountered. Understand the importance in acknowledging your emotions, regardless if they are positive or negative. They enrich your perspective, understanding. They are fundamental lessons that contributed to your transformative journey. Sometimes it feels like a burden or negativity, trial, and hope. So that's one of the things that talks about the legend, is when Pandora opened the box, all those things came out and she got so terrified she had to close the box. But it talks about hope being closed inside. It mirrors the Tower card and resembles the myth of Pandora's box. And the hardships that we endure creates the foundation of our lives. The one who bears all gifts. So that's the meaning of Pandora. Nothing or anyone is ever lost as long as we have hope. Curiosity is what drives us to find alternative routes. So, oh. And to make it even better, I have been stagnating on doing this reading because every time I get that card, it makes me a little tenderhearted, we'll call it. And so this morning I took Orbit out to go to the bathroom, and I came back in around, and it was exactly 10:11, and that's the day that she passed away, was 10/11/21. And so that's what also brought me back to this, because you know, I had left it out for a couple days because I didn't really know how to do it at first. So, but and then obviously that brought up memories and different things like that, and then that made me cry. And then I kind of had an epiphany over some of the situation, and so in the middle of crying, I kind of looked up. I don't know why I felt like looking at the clock, and it was 11:11, and I was like, trolled by the friggin' universe. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm doing this reading, as oofy as it is. So repressed desires, a torrent of emotions and experiences flooding your mind, and the sensation of a crushing weight that resembles loss and sadness. Yes. Accompanied by anger and disappointment, directed inwards. So you like, this has nothing to do, I mean, it is a situation that requires more than you, but it is your direction of frustration, aggravation, and sometimes personal loathing is directed completely inwards instead of out towards anybody. It's marked by a hollow pursuit, or focused on external or focused on the external at the internal's expense. We lose ourselves when we let others lead our reality. Understand and recognize the power of your choice, past and present, frustration, despair, constraint, limitations. It corresponds to Capricorn, and that's the symbol that's up here. It's the mirror to the Devil card. And then it's also connected to this card, so they both came out the same reading, and they are connected. So this is considered the Lover's card, and this is considered the Devil's card, and they are mirrors of each other, the positive and negative ways that we enter relationships or deal with relationships or something like that. So and it's because they're also connected numerologically and symbolically. Woo, words. So they basically, 15, the devil card, 6, the lovers, they equal 6 regardless. So the energy of 6. It means following through the full commit with plans without hesitation. And sometimes that can be good and that can be bad, like full committing on a bad idea and like just waiting for it to blow up in your face kind of energy. With plans without hesitation, if feeling blocked, one makes their own way forward. So basically that means that you become kind of water in a way, like water goes the path of least resistance. When it can't go one way, it just figures out, okay, which way do I go? So if that means like a situation, where you're trying to go doesn't work, just how can you go around this rock? Sometimes it can cause you to feel blocked, and how choices can confine us into a particular state of mind, and what stops us from following our path and our dreams. It's the fears, the worries, and the insecurities, things we tell ourselves, and the beliefs others have tricked us into believing. The more we believe the lies, the pain manifests. So 6 also in astrology is the house of health, and sometimes it literally means that you can internalize so much pain that you can cause yourself to become ill outwardly. Like you can have outward issues, not just mental catharsis and depression and avoidant issues. It can like literally come out into the body as illness. And it's patterns, which is also 6. Pattern we've been weaving for years. Understand that you are the one weaving the web. You are the one giving your power away or giving someone power over you. Okay. And awakening. A symphony of emotions flowing all over you. Love, sadness, peace, despair, guilt, joy, anger, courage. Some bring comfort, others cause discomfort. And you're regaining connection. From this moment, you will be you're regaining connection. Interesting. It says you're regaining connection, and then from this moment you will be apart until you are ready to reunite. So that's talking about something specific. You must forget everything you know. You must forget everything you know to rediscover the truth. It's akin to the Judgment card, and it means renewal, upheaval, catharsis. And the symbol of it is Pluto. Sorry if I've been holding it up too high. And it mirrors the Judgment card. And it's a wake-up call from the universe, and a catapulting towards a new future. And to also, because it's in retrograde right now, is to revisit a trajectory point. Wow. I really hope you guys enjoy me just botchamania with some of these words. Ooh, girl be trying real hard. And then continuing the awakening, it says, the awakening card resembles an aha moment, enlightenment after a long period of hardship. Everything starts to fall into place and make sense. It symbolizes the death and rebirth and transformation. So basically the 8th house in an astrology chart. The letting go of ideas and attachments, fighting with discomfort. A warning that something new is about to start, whether you are ready for it or not. But it is an early enough alert as to give you the time to prepare. You must understand and recognize the omens so that you can follow them and pay attention to the signs of confirmation. You have to listen to your intuition and stay alert. Analyze your environment. And are you surrounded by bliss or chaos? That is an answer for somebody. Like if you need to make a choice in something and you're asking yourself, what is the sphere that surrounds me, and is it a good place or is it not? And then we have the last card, which is life lessons. When the student is ready, the master appears, and it means books. So it's funny that this card over here referred to a book and the opening of a book, and it specifically saying I shouldn't have opened the book. It means guidance, wisdom, portal, advice, Taurus, and the symbol of Taurus is this up here. It mirrors the Hierophant, and it's the wisdom we acquire through many lifetimes or life lessons. So this, it keeps talking about past and present is kind of like a karmic experience, or a fated event that somebody's experiencing right now, or a theme that seems to repeat. Do not reach outward to ask for help with what you need to search deep within yourself to find the answers that we already have. So that doesn't mean if you're confused and you need help not to reach out. What it means is sometimes the decision is only ours, and it paralyzes us into inaction in order to make the choice. So we ask somebody else so the responsibility of the choice can be lifted off of us. Kind of like take this cup from me kind of energy. But you have to do it. You have to stop avoiding yourself, I guess, would be one of the answers. And deep down, you know what is best for you. Never a failure, always a lesson. So if you're being hard on yourself about something, did you learn? Will you do it again? Then you learned. Strong-minded, grounded, and knowing what one wants and why one wants it. Not to just want something, to understand why you want it. Working slowly towards one's goals, no matter the hurdles one faces along the way. That kind of is also like the Knight of Pentacles energy. So if you're also getting the Knight of Pentacles a lot, that might be relevant. So then, like I said right before I started this reading, I got Pandora's death time, or her birthday in heaven number. And then after that made me pee from my eye holes. Then I saw 1111. So I decided, maybe, just maybe, I'm going to read what I've studied about them. 1011, the moon was in conjunction with Pluto in Aquarius. So if you had from early this morning till probably around that time, the moon was pretty tight, hugging Pluto there. And it means to ascend. Slow and reverb. Obviously reverb to me is musical, but it can be like how long it takes for one to hear the sound. I don't know if it's entirely talking about music per se, but it's delayed sound in some way. So I guess. It's the number of transition, which for me, yes, it was. And finality, and it was. And doors closing behind you. And that's kind of relates to the Nine of Swords energy. The something has happened and you cannot go back, and you are forced to go forward. And a soul date etched into your timeline. So, for example, like a moment you can't forget, a date you never forget. It's no matter if you see it in time, no matter if you see it in the calendar or a price or anything like that, it's like, it's your number. And then I wrote the meaning of 1111, and it's the number of presence and portals, soul alignment, and divine messages. And I would like to say that was pretty, I feel like I haven't talked to Pandora in a long time, so it just kind of like to be able to have her or whatever bring me to it. You are never alone, especially in your pain. I saw you see me, and I saw you too. Watching you through your own mini deaths. So I think that's kind of like coming from the veil side, looking, through the mirror at us, seeing us go through a bunch of tiny deaths, over time. Through your intrusive thought, in your moments of clarity, in your moments of burnout and uncertainty, and shifting and shredding versions of yourself that no longer serve you, and walking beside you as you achieve your purpose. And I wrote, don't fear the moment, don't resist letting go. What feels like a death is a doorway, a very expensive and faded experience. It wasn't a mistake, it was what had to happen. Keep going. When you shed your next skin, referring to the snake back again over here, and that's the sacrifice. You'll find me in the numbers, in the wind, in the thorn-covered roses. Grief is a spiral, an energetic scar, and it comes up not to torment you, but to really be released with love and understanding. Let the memory live, sacred, but not as a wound. So, obviously this reading was very personal to me. As soon as I got the Pandora card, I just kind of was like, ooh, I walked away from it for a while. I had to walk away from it. So if someone's grieving the loss of someone, and it doesn't matter when it happened, it could be forever ago, but I don't know. It feels like it's just as fresh as the day it happened still, especially with this one, because it just means that memories are just hanging out for you. But I hope, I have no idea if sometimes these videos help anybody, but I hope I said something that helped somebody today. So thank you, Pandora. Bye, guys.